Yo, welcome back to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast, conversations on lifestyle, passions, and hustles. My name's Chris Furlong. I am your host, and I'm super excited to be back here having the conversation with you. Episode 85 today, we're getting so close to that big 100, and today we're talking about taking risks, taking chances, and being vulnerable, and how that is the way we can actually learn. That's what it's all about, right? And we're going to dive straight into this, so buckle up. The reality is, all this kind of stuff is scary, but it is necessary. And if you're familiar with going through the process to get your car license, right? You know, when you're getting your learners or learning to drive, you basically had to put yourself out there. You had to get out on the big road, on the open road, and, you know, where there's going to be all the other fast cars. And you had to learn how to drive in the open world in, you know, where there's other commuters and drivers. And that risk is big. It's scary, but, you know, it's scary at first. And then once you accomplish it, it's life-changing and it becomes, you know, second nature almost, right? And I know it's different for everyone, but as a generalization, that's how it goes. Now, this is the very same process that we must go through with life and all the many things that we want. If you want something, you need to be vulnerable. And that is what we are talking about today. So the big question that we're really addressing or talking about today is, what does it take to change your life? And I know it sounds like, oh yeah, here we go. It's another big and bold statement. But, you know, when we actually break it down, it should make a lot more sense to you. So other than, you know, the usual cliche of getting out of your comfort zone, there is so much more than just, you know, being in the deep end of the pool, right? When we go about creating something or pursuing something and building something that, you know, that we are proud of, we also need to remember that, you know, the process of actually doing this will be required. A process will be required. And it also should be a process that is a patient one. You know, if you're expecting to be somewhere in 2 years, you can't expect to be there overnight if you're expecting that it's going to take you 2 years to be, right? You need to start to bring your mindset around understanding that, okay, this is where I want to be in 2 years. So you need to be willing to commit to the 2 years and the effort and the work and all the things that it's going to take to get there. It really comes down to, as cliche as it is action. That's what it comes down to, action. So, right, if you know it's going to take you 2 years to get there, you need to be doing the action for the next 2 years. But it also comes down to putting in the experience. Like, you need to experience over that period of time while you're doing the action to help us get to where you want to be. And as I said, that experience cannot come super quick. It comes over time. It comes over experience. It comes over taking action. These things all work together. They help each other, right? Enabling us to move forward and to grow. You see, the more we experience, the more we realize the importance of that experience and how it applies to other elements in life, decision making, and being a better version of yourself. Now, I'm 31. I do not have it all figured out. I've got a lot to learn, but over the last 31 years, it can be broken down into these different brackets. The first 18 years, you know, I was in schooling and learning, education. The next 4 years, I'm in a higher education, in establishing, I guess, a path to a career that I wanted or thought I wanted. And then after that was another 7 years of climbing the corporate ladder from a graduate to a manager and developing skills and discovering my weaknesses and strengths and just learning, you know, how to make my way in operating in that kind of ecosystem. Now, along the same timeline of that previous 11 years, I was seeking and searching and longing for these different dreams, goals, and ambitions and things that I figured that would just happen. And I kept a small fire burning, enough to just keep it in the back of my mind. Now, in the last 2 years, I've stepped away from all that, the corporate world and all those things that I knew, to pursue my own business, my own passions, hobbies, goals, ambitions, this podcast, for instance, and to create my own lifestyle. Now, I can say that the lessons in the last 2 years have been ever so compounding and have been coming at me quicker than ever, right? However, they have become more obvious only now because I've got all that experience. So it's making me be able to, I guess, navigate and making it easier to leverage and pivot and to adjust to due to the prior years of, you know, my own journey and my own life and my own career and all those learnings that have come with it. The point is, we will never have all the answers, right? That's the reality of it. But we can build foundations. We can build a better understanding and become, I guess, super knowledgeable. But until we put them into play, until we test them out, until we see how things go based on guesstimates, experience, and learnings, we will never ever grow. It is crazy. It is crazy to think that, you know, I've been able to what I've been able to do in the last 31 years. But I'm even more excited now, actually, of what I can do in the next 31 years and beyond. When you start to realize that, this is just a small tip of a greater, time that I have. Of course, we never know when things are going to end. But the point is, like, what you can achieve is as much as you can dream. So a quick little plug right here before we get back into the episode is I just wanted to quickly take a sidestep and say, look, if you enjoy these episodes and insights, I've got a couple of things for you. One, do share these, share them to someone that you think it might be relevant to, or you think, could learn something from. Or if you enjoyed it, share it to other people and just, leave your feedback on some socials, on some Instagram, wherever. And also, I wanted to let you know that I also have a weekly newsletter that I send out every week, Monday, 9 p.m. And basically, I just share my own weekly life reflects, learnings, and just, how things are going. And I would love for you to check that out. So if you wanted to check it out, you can sign it up if you just go to www.clfurlong.com. Go there, you can sign up, all the details are there, and I would love to have you come along for a weekly ride. All right, let's jump back into the pod. So to play it back to you, the more we try, fail, learn, and try to figure things out, the more we will find out. That's essentially what we're talking about. So my big lesson and my big encouragement to you all is this: be willing to try new things. But try these new things with understanding and some planning. Test yourself to adapt and change, but don't jump into the water blind. Know how deep it is that you're diving into, right? Taking some calculated risks, taking some understanding, doing some planning. Don't do analysis paralysis, but have an understanding of what you're jumping into. Another way that we can look at this is the snowball effect. Now, this one I love. It is continuous. It's essentially the momentum that picks up as you continue to do things. Sometimes when things are going really, really well, things just start to take off, right? And you just build that momentum and things are able to just escalate and compound so quickly. At the same time, sometimes things get out of control and we're not able to keep up with demand. It goes the other way. So it works both ways. Now, regardless of what stage you are with life, with your career, with your business, with your journey, or maybe you're building a foundation, or maybe whatever level you're at, right? It's always going to be more difficult at first, whether you're at the start, whether you're at the middle, or you're at the next part before you progress. The key thing here is that as you progress and as you reflect, the next level becomes a little bit easier because you're able to take all those learnings, apply them, compound them to what you're about to execute on, and now that becomes so much easier, or you're able to make a better decision, or you're able to do things with a lot more ease because you've got knowledge, you've got experience, you've got understanding. So my final challenge to you today, before we wrap this up, is this. When you feel like things are not going to plan, or it just isn't going as you expected, remember, this is now. This is in this moment. So things aren't going well now. Things aren't what I expected now. This isn't working now. It's now, right? This will change, right? You just continue to move forward. Right now, things are not going to plan. Right now isn't as you expected. As you navigate through the experience, this will become an experience to enable you, to teach you, to help you move onwards and to your bigger and better self. Now, I know it is very easy for me to say this, and not being in your situation, obviously I have no experience in your situation, but reflect on where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Where have you come from? What have you done? And when you reflect on that, you can see how quickly it changed, how quickly it went. And that's the kicker. The time's going to pass anyway. So we need to learn along the way. We need to experience the journey. And then you need to let it be these lessons, this experience to help you create the future that you want. It really is that simple, but it all takes time, effort, experience, action. That's it. Really do appreciate it. If you do have any questions, any comments, by all means, please do reach out. You can connect me on socials. Hit me up on Instagram @FurtherYourLifestyle. Hit me up on Twitter @FurtherYourLife. Or if you are on the YouTube, you can drop a comment as well. Really do appreciate you. As I said before, it's always fun to have these conversations, and I would love to hear from you. I would love to continue the conversation. So don't be shy. Reach out. Otherwise, you have a wonderful day. Cheers. Now, if you didn't know, we do have the podcast merch, and this is with a key focus of enamel pins. Now, if you haven't checked these out, make sure you do, because the intent of these are really just to be a small token and a reminder for you to charge on, to push on, and to further your lifestyle. Whether it is a gift for someone else to encourage them, or maybe to inspire them, or maybe it's a way to motivate yourself, or you can simply just make a purchase to simply support the podcast, which would be greatly appreciated. We do also have some sweaters and some long tees, so make sure you check it out. Link in the description and in the show notes. Really do appreciate it. Cheers.